to this episode of the Second Chance Sports Challenge. I'm your host, Chance Dyson, and this week we have a very special guest. He is going into his 7th year as a head coach at the junior college level and 2nd year with Daytona State. He is a 2018 and 19 FCSAA Southern Conference champion under Palm Beach State. He has had 31 Division I signings in 6 years under his leadership and has accumulated 125 victories in his time. It gives me great pleasure to challenge the head coach at Daytona State men's basketball team, Martin McCann, to a game of NBA 2K21. Coach, thanks for being here and accepting the challenge.
Thanks for having me on, and please take it easy on me.
Listen, I'm going to try. I think we both have had our fair share of practice. We've talked about it behind the scenes, and we tried to get as much practice as we can, but you're a busy guy, so am I. But let's get right into it and pick our teams, Coach.
Let's do it.
We'll go through the play now menu, right to quick play. We're going to go. You're going to be the home team just for these purposes. And so we spoke about it before. You're going to go with your JUCO guys. You're going to be the Heat. Why the Heat?
Just great to see guys that have used the junior college platform, and Jimmy Butler and Jay Crowder to go on and have phenomenal careers after junior college, and obviously, just won the Eastern Conference Finals and are headed to play the Lakers in the NBA Finals.
Right.
The perfect timing to represent these guys.
Man, I'll tell you what, it is so impressive to see what can be done on the junior college level. I mean, I worked under you for a couple months before I had to move on. And just to see these guys leaders and enhancing their game under a great coach like you, it's impressive to see. So I'm going to have to go with the Rockets, though. I'm a Russell Westbrook guy. So let's go ahead and get with that. You're going to hit the A button on your side.
You're a big fan of offense, I see, going with the Rockets.
Maybe just a little bit.
I got you.
And so, Coach, where are you originally from?
So let's see. I was born in Palo Alto, California at Stanford Hospital. My dad is a professor there. So I grew up in the Bay Area and then moved back to New York when I was in 7th grade, back to Dutchess County in the Poughkeepsie area where my parents grew up. And then, so I believe I've lived in the 3 best states in the U.S. Florida here for 10 years, New York and
West,
California.
The East, all of it. And so, Coach, what got you into basketball?
Let's see. My dad was always a huge fan, but never played in college, played in high school, and then went on to Villanova and wasn't quite good enough to play there, but always a huge fan. So always grew up watching hoops with him. My brothers played at a young age. None of them took it as far as I did in terms of playing beyond high school, but always had love for the game and just a passion, and grew up going to Stanford games and watching Pac-12 basketball.
That's awesome.
And then, in 7th grade when I moved to New York, it really became my only sport and really focused on that. And, took it real serious in high school and got myself an opportunity to play in college.
See, now that's awesome. That's just like from younger to now. And so what got you into coaching? What was your first opportunity?
So when I was graduating, I went to Hartwick College, which is a Division III program in upstate New York, in Oneonta, New York, and I knew that during my senior year it was going to be tough to just walk away from the game. I was so passionate
Absolutely.
as a player and knew that, hey, I might want to try coaching. So I wanted to put myself in a position where I could get some experience coaching, kind of get my feet wet and see what it's all about, and then also be in school to get my master's. So I said, hey, let me give this 2 years and get some experience and see if coaching is what I want to do, and if not, I'll have my master's degree to maybe go get in the business world. So I got an opportunity to go be a grad assistant at Lynn University, NCAA Division II program down in Boca Raton, and had a great experience there working for Scott McMillan, and did just that. I got 2 years of experience, being a big part of a coaching staff and getting my feet wet in college basketball on the coaching side, while also completing my MBA. So that was a 2-year position, and when that was up, I knew that it's not time to go into the business world. I want to keep coaching and impacting lives. So
you've pretty much touched every base as far as academics go. I mean, everything, your MBA, your actual degrees.
Yeah, got a bachelor's in business admin. I minored in graphic communications, which both have been very helpful for me, since I've gotten into coaching, just in terms of having a creative mindset, an organized business mindset, Running a team sometimes can be like running an organization, So that was good for me. Yeah. And then, when I got my MBA, I was able to get a specialization in athletic admin, which I thought was really, really, really beneficial for me. But yeah, had great experiences at both places, both as a player, as a coach, and then, obviously as a student as well.
And so what brought you to Daytona State?
So let's see. After my time at Lynn, I went to Palm Beach State, another Division I junior college program, and was able to be an assistant there for a year. After that first year, the head coach took another job, and I was given an opportunity at 25 years old to be the interim head coach. Had a quality, interim year and was able to earn that job full time and was the head coach there for 5 years. Had a great run, worked with some awesome people, was able to coach some phenomenal players and win some big time games, and just an unbelievable run. But always admired Daytona from afar. Our athletic director, Will Dunn, has been here for a long, long time and been very loyal, to this school and this area, and has hired some unbelievable coaches and just great history, great support from the administration, and then just giving our players some quality resources. So I was always very attracted to it. And then obviously just knowing, how strong, what was the Mid-Florida Conference, which is now the Central Conference, how strong that conference was and how strong, Region 8 is. So I didn't want to go far, but wanted an opportunity with, some more resources, and Daytona provided those.
So you've been around the block a few times, obviously. Who would you say that who do you mimic your coaching style off of? Are you more of a D'Antoni? Are you a Coach K? What do you mirror your coaching style off of?
I think that's the awesome thing about coaching is you get to be yourself, and if you're trying to be something you're not, you're going to struggle, and your kids are going to read right through that. So I don't want to be anybody or try to mimic anybody. I want to be Martin McCann, and there's certain things that I definitely want my teams to do year in and year out. We want to compete, we want to play hard, we want to share the ball. From a technical standpoint, definitely about spacing and
right.
On the offensive end and having a lot of guys that can play multiple positions. Defensively, more of a man-to-man guy. But one thing that I really take pride in and love about the junior college level is it's very hard to have a very strict system that you stick to year in and year out, which you'll see at the 4-year level, just because the turnover. You don't have
right.
these kids for 4 years. They could be there for 10 months if it's a transfer or a qualifier, or 2 years maximum. So you have to, like I said, you got a few things that you definitely, always stick to year in and year out, and then you have to, change what you do as a coach to fit your group. And your strengths and weaknesses every year in junior college could change, as your roster turnover is so great.
Right. So how much do you think you lean, and like you said, they're only here for 2 years, you don't get them very long. How much do you lean on your sophomore leadership to help bring your younger guys up? Because you know how a lot of freshmen are. They're on their high horse. They're, look at me, I'm playing college basketball. How much do you rely on your sophomores to kind of rein them in and like, hey, this is what you're here for. This is what you need to do, X, Y, Z, and the other?
Well, great question. And at any level of college basketball, there is nothing like experience.
Right.
An old-time coach once told me, get old and stay old. And you try to do that, whatever level you're at, because there really is nothing like experience.
Right.
And just having sophomores to lean on to set your culture, how you guys operate, how you carry yourselves, on campus, in the community, so on and so forth, it is so important, and then there's nothing like, being in practice, being able to go to guys, that have been there before. They know all your terminology, they know your drills, maybe some of your, plays that you run, and some of your defensive terminology is so beneficial, and at the junior college level, you can have a great year or a bad year, and your team could look completely different, the following year.
Absolutely. And so I got to ask you, granted, we're almost to the end of the first quarter. I have to ask, who is your GOAT? Are you an MJ or are you a LeBron guy? Or I know that a lot of people have Kobe, Kareem, all of those guys. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. I think, who is your GOAT?
Well, I think that I'm blessed as a 31-year-old that was born in in 1989 that I was able to witness Jordan. You know, I never saw him in person on the Bulls. I did see him in person playing for the Wizards. And then obviously, you know, LeBron's whole career I've been able to watch as well. Huge fan of both. I think it's one of the toughest arguments in sports today. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think they're both, you know, completely different kind of players, first and foremost.
Right.
But they're both two just guys that impact winning so much. You know, LeBron's an impressive guy, you know, just human being, family man. You know, Jordan, just the ultimate competitor. So obviously just greatness in both of them. Huge fan and respect both of them, but love how different they are.
Right. So, well, I mean, yes, that's a great answer. But not even between the two, who do you think is the greatest player of all time? Not between those two, but like of all time.
Right now, I would say Michael Jordan,
okay,
right, because his career's over and LeBron is still, you know, writing his story.
Right. Okay.
I'm excited to see what he does in the next couple weeks.
I know. I'm really excited for the finals. Listen, I must say, though, I'm pulling for the JUCO guys. I think the Heat are going to win. I think – and so here's a better question for you. Do you, as a coach, do you rely more on skill or team chemistry? And I know that's kind of an open-ended question, and of course you rely on both. But which one do you prefer? Because you look at the guys like the Heat. They're young. They have a few experienced players. But would you rely more on chemistry or team skill?
Tough question. Good question. Obviously both so important. You know, skill and being able to dribble, pass, shoot in our game today, you know, is so valuable regardless of what position you play.
Right.
But no matter what sport you're playing, what level you're playing at, you know, I don't think there's anything, you know, as important as chemistry. You know, if you have a group of guys that are connected and are on the same page and about the same things, regardless of things, you know, if they're going well or not well, you know, you're going to have a chance to win games and be in every game, and maybe make up for some things that you might lack, right? Whether it's, you know, lacking some skill in certain spots, lacking size, athleticism. You know, if you got a group that's truly connected, you know, you're going to have a chance regardless of, you know, how good you are at other aspects of the game.
Right, and you see what the Heat can do. I mean, look at Bam, a guy who underrated, Tyler Hero. The Heat drafted him, seeing potential in him, and every fan was like, who? So it's like, for me, I feel like I would rely more on team chemistry, and you could see what the Heat have done. But now I have to ask you, if you could have met, or if you can meet anyone, whether that be coach, player, sports figure, any of it. I did an interview with Nick Gimbel, and he chose Al Michaels as a sports figure that he would want to meet, which is really interesting to me, and I've been looking forward to hearing your answer. Who would you choose to meet, whether that be player, coach, any of the above? Who would it be?
Can I give you a couple answers?
Absolutely.
I think as a player, you know, obviously it would be awesome to spend some time with LeBron. You know, just hearing, you know, his basketball IQ, whether it's former coaches of his talking about, you know, how he, you know, sees the game so differently than anyone they've ever seen, or teammates talking about his IQ. And then I just think he's a quality person. So I'd love to spend some time with him.
Okay.
As a coach, I'm a big fan of Calipari. You know, I would love to pick his brain and not even about X's and O's, but more just about, you know, getting so many talented guys to buy in every year and, you know, be about something that's greater than themselves. I think he's one of the best, you know, in the country at that. So, yeah, I'd love to sit down and learn from him.
So Calipari and LeBron. Now, I went to my first Final Four last year. Or not Final Four, I'm sorry, Final Four tournament. My first NCAA tournament. And I saw Calipari firsthand. He's incredible. I got to see LSU, I believe it was versus, oh, Lord, I'm blanking. I can't remember who they played, but got to see my Tigers play and see all those guys. And watching Calipari in person is just incredible. Oh, as I go up for another one with Westbrook. But, so, have you ever been to an NCAA? I mean, I know it's a goofy question, open-ended very as well. But have you ever been to an NBA or a college game outside of junior college?
Oh, no question. While my dad was a professor at Stanford, while it was coming up, we had season tickets. You know, we would go to Warriors games, Here's a funny McCann family story. We had a piano teacher. We all used to play piano. I have 2 older brothers that are musicians now full-time. That's what they do for a living. And, our piano teacher, she knew we were big Hoops fans, and they had season tickets to the Warriors. So whenever her and her husband couldn't go, her name was Miss Kawasaki, and she would take care of us, give us tickets. So I grew up going to Warriors games, grew up going to Stanford games. Let's see, I remember going to a Sweet 16 game of Stanford versus Utah, and Keith Van Horn. This was in the 90s. I was a young guy, went with my father. That was in San Jose, California. I remember going to the Elite Eight in Anaheim, back when Stanford and Casey Jacobson and those guys went to the Elite Eight and actually lost to the University of Maryland. Lonnie Baxter, Juan Dixon, Steve Blake, and the boys, who went on to win it all.
That was long before me.
Oh, that was before your time. And then let's see, my first Final Four, I was still playing in college for my 21st birthday. My father took me and my oldest brother to the Final Four in Indianapolis. It was the year Butler made it. So we went to those games.
That's awesome.
I got to get a taste of that, and then obviously have been, I go every year to be a part of the coaching convention and see a lot of friends. It's a big event for coaches at all levels. To go there and be a part of some clinics and listen to some guys speak and, go to some social events to see some coaches that maybe you don't see, throughout the year. I've been going to the Final Four now for a long time. Was upset that they had to cancel everything this past spring. But,
I know.
It was the right move.
Absolutely, yeah. And with all this craziness going on, I mean, even we are technically social distanced and that sort of deal. So it's been crazy. But as we lurch closer to the end of the first half, I'm up 8 right now.
Yeah, we're not playing too well. We don't look like the team that played the other night, that's for sure.
Lord, no, absolutely not. Even I'm struggling a little bit, I must say. I think I should definitely be doing more with Westbrook and Harden as you green light the free throw there. Oh, I might get a – oh, I forgot to shoot. I didn't realize
We're going to need a big-time halftime speech from Coach Spoelstra here.
Definitely. I mean, hey, listen, it's all for fun, man. It's the challenge. I'm really glad you're here. And, man, I'll tell you what, there has been so much within junior college and the D1 level of different athletes. Did you have a favorite player? And I know you can't really be biased, but did you have a favorite player that you coached in your time that maybe went to a different level, maybe stayed lower, ended up being a coach? Did you have a favorite player that,
You are putting me on the spot here, buddy. God, hard to just say one,
right.
Just talking about my time at Palm Beach State, coached so many good guys and guys that I'll, communicate with for a long time and still do, and guys that I appreciate. There were some guys that took a chance on me as a 25-year-old
right.
and signed with Palm Beach State, and I was 0-0 as a head coach and, believed in me, and I'm forever thankful for that. I've coached some great ones. One thing that I love is just, following them after they're done in junior college, getting out of a late practice and running to the office, pulling up the scores on ESPN, see how guys are doing.
Right.
I really enjoy that, trying to get out, whether it's over our Christmas break or, watching guys at, other schools in Florida, whatever it may be. Any chance I get to see guys play, at their 4-year school after their time is done with us, I take that chance.
Right. Got a 3-second violation here. Run back the blocks. So let's see if I can do a little bit better with Westbrook and Harden.
Yeah, Butler is having a little bit of an off night, but that might be because of the guy behind the controller.
Maybe. Well, I think I've only hit 1-3 with Harden. Yeah, and I haven't hit any of the other shots that I've been taking.
Good pass. Oh.
There we go. Let me get up with Westbrook a little bit. And I'll tell you what, Coach, I know you said it's been a long time since you've hit the sticks. What was the last game? The last game that you played as a video game? What was the last time you played?
It's funny, I've thought about this in the last week, and I probably have not picked up a controller since college.
Really?
And even then, I was never a big gamer. One of my brothers was a little bit when we were growing up. I had some roommates in college that were. They were big FIFA guys.
Really?
So that would probably be the last time. And in all honesty, I never really got into it. I was always the guy trying to get them to take it off the TV in the living room so we could watch a game or something.
So you could watch real sports.
Yeah, no question. So, yeah, never been a gamer.
I just cannot hit with Harden.
I think that's what's keeping me in it. Good pass.
We're gonna have a look. Oh.
Yeah, it's some great ball movement. Can't finish. Shoot it.
You gotta
There
hold that
you
X
go.
button. I
Okay,
see you gotta
okay.
hold that X button.
Like I said, I'm a rookie. We got to get Hero going, though. He's on the board.
And so if you had to pick a favorite player, so I know you went to a lot of Warriors teams, or a lot of Warriors games. So would you say that Golden State is your favorite NBA team since you kind of grew up around them, or who would you consider your favorite team?
I do root for the Warriors. I wasn't a huge fan of them all coming together and KD going out there, but it's very hard to knock how they play. You know, how they share the ball, how they got guys that, you know, maybe could average more points and have a bigger role, you know, on a team that's not as good, you know, sacrificing, you know, to try to win ball games. So I got a lot of respect for them.
Right.
But my Warriors teams were, I was a big fan of Baron Davis and those guys. And, loved watching those teams. Now, they weren't great back then. Then I obviously moved to New York, so it's hard not to try to root for the Knicks, even though that's been difficult.
Right.
But I'm a big, fan of just certain players, guys that I like. I like their approach. I like, the way they play, their game, whatever it may be. And I root for those guys. Same way in college, not necessarily have a team. Maybe root for certain coaches that I have relationships with, or obviously rooting for former players, and then just kind of getting the lay of the land, and every year maybe it's one or two teams that I like how they play or whatever it may be, and just root for that team.
So, what is your favorite moment from any coaching experience you've ever had?
Favorite moment.
I know that championship's got to be close to the top.
Yeah, 2 years ago we won a regular season title at Palm Beach State, and it wasn't easy. Fought through some adversity, fought through some injuries, and still found a way. That was a team that was fun to be around. So that was one that was exciting. There's nothing like, all the moments of seeing guys that, maybe went through some adversity and for whatever reason had to go to the junior college route. And you have your ups and downs during those 2 years. They have their highs and lows. And then finally, they're able to see all that hard work pay off and put some ink to paper and sign a scholarship to the next level. So those little moments are awesome. Love seeing those. I've loved watching guys, former players play in the NCAA tournament. Those have been some awesome moments. But, yeah, I would say, some big wins, just seeing guys move on, seeing guys graduate. Obviously it was a huge moment when I found out as a 25-year-old that I was, being given the opportunity to be the interim head coach at Palm Beach State.
I can't even begin to fathom that feeling.
That was an exciting one for sure.
I really got it. Harden has been cold almost this whole game. I tried to hit the signature step back, couldn't connect. I'm going to hit a fadeaway here and try it. That was a terrible shot.
You're worried about your step back, and I'm over here trying to just keep guys in between the lines.
Hey, listen, man, it is your first, it's one of your first couple of times playing, man. Look, it's all for fun, man, and that's why I really enjoy doing this stuff. It's fun to have guys like you on with a lot of experience, and it's more about your knowledge, not about your skills on the sticks.
Good. That makes me feel a little better.
Makes you feel a lot better? No, but Coach, the next question I got for you is, how much technology do you use when you're coaching your players?
Let's see. That has developed over the years, not only what I've used personally within my program, but just in the game, today at all levels. Obviously so much different technology when it comes to film and video breakdown and statistics. So we are subscribers to Synergy Sports, which breaks down all of our games, and have really enjoyed working with them, and it really helps our guys, see some analytical things, see some advanced statistics, and then, film doesn't lie too, just to have that, at your fingertips to show them every possession, whether it was good, bad, or anything in between.
Right.
A lot of technology being used, when it comes to film and using that to try to get better, whether it's helping your team overall get better or individuals. And then obviously using film when it comes to scouting opponents as well. So definitely a lot of technology used there. And then now in today's game, in today's world, we're using tons of technology to promote our players, promote our players to 4-year levels and to scouts, and whether that's through social media, through the use of video stuff on our YouTube page. So yeah, we try to use all that stuff, use Twitter and social media and have our YouTube channel and all that good stuff, promoting our program and the accomplishments of our players, and when they're signing to 4-year schools or have opportunities to do so. And so yeah, we use technology in all aspects, of our program.
And so how many players did you have signed to D1, any level, from last year that left Daytona State?
We had all 6 of our sophomores signed Division I.
Nice.
Yeah, we had guys signed to Louisiana Monroe, Mississippi Valley State, Northern Illinois, Illinois State, Tennessee Tech, and Radford.
See, that's awesome. It's great to hear these players go to the next level, and especially coming from junior college. And so my next question for you is, so in your season, right, you have a lot of achievements. Do you focus more from a player standpoint, do you focus more on your entire season achievements, or do you maybe focus a little more on player accolades, like during the season, single player accolades? So if they have a triple-double, do you focus more on that, or are you looking for the bigger picture?
Well, I think those individual accolades go hand in hand with your team's success. Not only are you going to have more individuals that receive accolades, but they're more meaningful when your team is winning.
Right.
So we talk a lot about, hey, no one in this program is going to get what they want as an individual, whether it's accolades or scholarship offers or, opportunities at the next level, if the team is not having success. You want Division I coaches to come in our gym and watch you guys. You got to be about each other, and you guys got to help each other and build chemistry, and we got to win as a group, and when those things are happening, then all those individual accolades, come into play. So let's focus on we first, and if we're focusing on us, guys are going to get taken care of as individuals.
Right. So, Coach, do you have a favorite athletic shoe brand? I see you rocking the UA.
Rocking the
UA,
right.
They are Daytona State sponsor. I have a few pieces from them sitting in my closet as I green light with Harden. Would you say, do you have a favorite shoe brand or athletic brand?
Always been a Nike guy, but I have made the adjustment to Under Armour since coming here, and have loved their products. And always been a sneaker guy. When I was younger, I was big into Jordans and Nikes and all that good stuff. Still got a couple pairs in my closet collecting dust that I'm sure some of my guys now would love to have.
Oh yeah. What you got in there? What kind are we talking?
Oh man, I got some Jordans that probably haven't been on my feet in 10, 12 years. Got some old Nikes, a little bit of everything, Air Force Ones, whatever it may be. Yeah, I used to be a big sneaker guy. I've slowed down a little bit, but always
kept up with the game behind the scenes.
Yeah, I always enjoy checking out what's coming out. And obviously, it's just been a big part of basketball culture for sure.
Of course. And so, speaking of basketball culture, if you could change a single rule in basketball to improve the game, what would it be?
Ooh. Are you looking for a technical rule, like actual in
Anything.
The rule book? Anything? Okay.
Anything.
Well, let's see. I think that we are on the right path with some of the stuff I would change. Obviously, you want these kids at the NCAA level to be amateurs, quote unquote, right? But reality is, the NCAA is a business, and these kids are definitely helping this business, have success and create profits, and they should be, given a little bit more than maybe just a scholarship and everything that comes with being a student athlete. Especially at the highest level. You have some of these guys that could really capitalize, on their likeness and their name and image. Yeah.
So what you're saying is you want to see NCAA games back. That's what I mean. I know you don't have to stay
in a nutshell, no question. I would love to see it back, but I do love what they're doing in terms of all these states, and the NCAA approving.
Everyone's getting to make
guys
their own
being
decisions.
able to make some money off their name, image, and likeness while they are, in college. Now, do I think every player is going to benefit from that? No, not at all. But certain players definitely will. So I am a fan of that, no question.
So, Coach, which aspects of Daytona State basketball under your coaching do you believe translates into growing up and maturing as an adult?
Just the day-to-day structure, and guys, having to stick to a schedule, to give their all in everything we do, to work hard, to be about, more than just themselves. And just a work ethic, hard hat mentality. If you're looking at our day-to-day, our kids checked in at the COVID tent to get their temp checked at 7:25, and they were in the CAF right when it opened at 7:30. And we had a brief little meeting going into, their shooting session from 9 to 11, and then we had weight groups at 11 and noon. A couple guys had class, followed by a 2-hour study hall from 2 to 4. So I think if you have guys in that kind of structure, they're going to be ready to get into the real world, whether it's being a parent and having responsibilities, being an employee somewhere, whatever it may be, just being a part of structure and being a part about something that's, greater than themselves. So, yeah, I think we're preparing guys to have success wherever, life takes them.
We are getting closer. I'm going to try and hit a little half court.
Oh, stop the bleeding.
Well, folks, with a final score of 34-26, Coach, I want to thank you for accepting the challenge and joining Second Chance Sports. At this time, let's go ahead and tell the viewers at home where they can find you on social media and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, give our program a follow first on Twitter at Daytona State MBB. You can give me a follow on Twitter at Coach McCann. On Instagram, I'm at _Coach _McCann.
Right.
Our YouTube channel is Daytona State Men's Basketball. Ton of content on there.
Right.
Interviews, highlights on former players, incoming guys. Check us out, please.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So be sure to find out more about the Daytona State men's basketball team, like Coach said, following them on Twitter and Instagram as they prepare for a hopeful spring season. And, Coach, you guys said, so there is a scheduled game.
There is. Our schedule just got complete. The NJCAA had made the decision to move men's basketball to the spring. So we're going to kick off official practice on January 4th. Then we open up the season on January 23rd versus Northwest Florida. It's going to be hosted at Santa Fe, a part of the FCSAA tip-off.
Awesome, man. And finally, I would like to thank you guys at home for tuning in to this episode of the Second Chance Sports Challenge. Please be sure to follow, like, rate, and subscribe on all streaming platforms. Go check out at Second Chance Pod on Twitter and Instagram. You know what to do. So for Coach McCann and everyone behind the scenes making the show possible, I'm Chance Dyson, and thanks for taking a chance on the challenge. We'll see you next time.